Hello there. Tonight, we are going to do something a little different. Usually, we drift to places of comfort, to sun-drenched beaches or cozy cabins. But tonight we are going to travel into the shadows. We are going to peel back the curtain of history and step into the raw, unfiltered reality of the past. It is a time of plagues, of punishments, and of a darkness so deep it swallowed entire centuries. We are going back to the Middle Ages, but not the one you see in movies. Forget the shiny armor. Forget the clean stone castles. We are going to the real Middle Ages, the one that smells of wet earth and survival. Before we descend into that heavy, quiet dark, if you find yourself enjoying these strange journeys into the true past, if you like uncovering the gritty layers of history with me, please gently leave a like and subscribe. It helps us keep the lantern lit as we explore these forgotten corners of time together. Now, settle into your bed. Feel the softness of your pillow. Really feel it. It is cool, smooth, clean. Your sheets are fresh. Your blanket is light but warm. You are safe here. You are in the 21st century. The air in your room is filtered, temperature controlled, silent. Let your shoulders drop, unclench your jaw. Let your hands rest open by your side. You are comfortable. You are clean. You are safe. Keep that feeling close to you, because where we are going, comfort is a myth. Imagine the room around you dissolving. The walls of your bedroom fade away into a thick grey mist. The hum of electricity dies down. The street lights outside blink out one by one. The air grows colder, much colder. It is a damp, biting chill that seeps right through the mist. The smell hits you next. It is not the smell of laundry detergent or old books. It is a heavy, pungent scent. It smells of wood smoke, yes, but underneath that there is the smell of unwashed bodies, of wet wool, of rotting straw, and the sharp ammonia tang of livestock. The mist clears. Open your inner eyes. Welcome to the year 1325. You are awake, but you are not in your bed. You are lying on something lumpy and uneven. Shift your weight slightly. Rustle, crunch, rustle. It is loud. It sounds dry and brittle. You are lying on a sack. It is made of rough hemp cloth, scratching against your skin through your thin linen shift. Inside the sack is straw, not fresh, golden straw that smells of summer sunshine. No, this is old straw, grey straw. It was stuffed into this mattress 3 months ago, back when the harvest ended. Since then, it has absorbed the moisture of the air, the sweat of your feverish nights, and the dampness of the earthen floor beneath you. It feels damp against your back, a clammy, sinking feeling. If you were to cut this mattress open, you wouldn't just find straw, you would find life, tiny, microscopic kingdoms thriving in the decay. Mold spores spreading their invisible webs, dust mites feasting on the flakes of skin you shed every night. It smells musty, like an old barn that has been sealed shut for a century. Sniff, take a shallow breath. The air is thick with dust. It tickles the back of your throat. You try to find a comfortable spot, but there isn't one. The straw has matted down in the center, creating a hollow that traps you. You are curled up in a ball, your knees pulled to your chest, trying to preserve your body heat, because it is freezing. There is no insulation here. The walls of your home are made of wattle and daub woven sticks plastered with mud and dung. They stop the wind, mostly, but they do not hold the heat. The cold radiates from the walls like a physical presence. It presses against your face, numbing your nose, freezing your eyelashes. You pull the blanket up tighter. Feel the texture of the blanket. It is wool, but not soft merino wool. It is coarse, heavy, scratchy wool. It feels oily to the touch. That is the lanolin, the natural grease from the sheep, mixed with the grime of daily use. This blanket has not been washed since last winter. It weighs down on you, heavy and stiff, like a lead apron. It smells of wet dog and wood smoke. You lie there in the pre-dawn darkness, staring up. You cannot see the ceiling. It is pitch black, but you know what is up there. Thatch. Layers of dried reeds and straw. And living in that thatch are your roommates. Listen, scritch, scratch, scritch. Can you hear it? It is a tiny, frantic sound. A mouse, or perhaps a rat, scurrying across the beams directly above your head. Squeak. It pauses, sniffing the air, looking for crumbs, looking for warmth. You tense up, waiting for it to fall. Dust drifts down from the roof, landing on your cheek. You brush it away quickly. You are never truly alone in 1325. The house is an ecosystem, and you are just one part of the food chain. And speaking of the food chain, you feel something, a sensation on your ankle, a tiny, sharp prick, then an itch, a burning, insistent itch. You try to ignore it. You tell yourself to go back to sleep, but then you feel another one on your shoulder, and another at the base of your neck. Fleas, they are waking up with you. They live in the straw mattress. They live in the wool blanket. They live in the seams of your tunic. Imagine them, tiny black specks, navigating the forest of wool fibers, hunting for warmth, hunting for blood. You shift your leg, rubbing your foot against your shin to scratch the itch. The relief is momentary. The itch returns deeper this time. Your skin feels raw. It is a map of bumps and red welts. You have lived with this sensation your entire life. You don't know what it feels like to have smooth, unbroken skin. To be clean is a concept that doesn't exist for you. You are a walking buffet for parasites. Lice in your hair, fleas in your bed. They are your constant companions, closer to you than any friend. You lie there, gritty and itchy, accepting it. This is normal. This is life. You close your eyes again, trying to drift away from the itch. But the darkness is not silent. Listen to the room. Who? Puff, a heavy, wet breath. Who? It is coming from the corner of the room, just a few feet away. It smells of chewed grass and warm milk. It is a cow. Yes, your cow is sleeping in the room with you. In the winter, the animals are brought inside. Their body heat helps keep the house warm. It is a primitive central heating system, but it means you are breathing the same air. You can hear the cow shifting its weight, the heavy thud of a hoof on the packed dirt floor. Thud, swish. Its tail flicks against the wall. Somewhere else in the darkness, a goat bleats softly in its sleep. Meh. A chicken ruffles its feathers on a perch near the door. Cluck, cluck. The air is thick with the smell of manure. Fresh manure burns your nostrils slightly. It is a heavy, earthy, ammonia-rich scent that clings to everything. It is in your clothes, in your hair, in your pores. You don't even smell it anymore, really. It is just the smell of home. And then there are the humans. You are not alone in this bed. Snore, whistle, snore. To your left, your brother is sleeping, his mouth open, snoring loudly. His arm is thrown across the blanket, heavy and unwashed. To your right, your grandmother is coughing, a dry, hacking cough that rattles in her chest. She has had that cough for years. It is the sound of the smoke from the open fire pit that fills the room every day, coating everyone's lungs in soot. Cough, cough, wheeze. There are 8 people in this one room, parents, children, cousins, bodies packed together for warmth. There is no privacy, none. You hear every breath, every movement, every bodily function. You are part of a tangled mass of humanity, huddling against the cruel indifference of the medieval winter. The air in the room is stale, used up. It is warm, but it is a wet, suffocating warmth. The condensation from 8 pairs of lungs and 3 farm animals drips down the walls. Suddenly, a sound cuts through the darkness. Clang, clang, clang. The church bell. It is distant, but it pierces the thin walls of your hut. It is harsh, relentless, metal striking metal. It is the voice of authority. It is telling you that your rest is over. The sun hasn't even risen yet. The sky outside is still a bruised purple, but the bell doesn't care. The Lord doesn't care. The fleas don't care. You groan, a low, guttural sound of protest in your throat. Your body aches. Oh, how it aches. You are only 22 years old, but your back feels like it belongs to an old man. Your joints are stiff, locked in place by the cold and the hard labor of yesterday. You try to stretch your legs. Crack. Your knee pops. Crack. Your spine protests. Every muscle fiber screams at you. They are tired. They haven't recovered. They are fueled by weak beer and stale bread, and they are running on empty. But you have to move. If you don't work, you don't eat. If you don't eat, you die. It is that simple. You push the heavy, scratchy wool blanket aside. The cold air hits your skin instantly. It feels like a slap. You shiver. A violent, uncontrollable shiver that runs from your scalp to your toes. Brr. You sit up. The straw mattress hisses as you move. You swing your legs over the side of the bed. Your feet search for the floor. Be careful. The floor is dirt. Packed earth. But is it dry? You lower your foot. A squish. Ah, no. It is not dry. It rained last night. The roof leaked. Or perhaps the cow relieved itself. It doesn't matter. Your bare foot is now resting in cold, wet mud. The mud oozes up between your toes. It is slimy, gritty, cold. You don't pull away. You don't gasp. You just accept it. You stand up. Your head almost brushes the low thatched ceiling. Dust falls into your hair. You are awake. Welcome to the nightmare. Welcome to the year 1325. You are standing in the dark, your feet sinking into the cold mud of your living room floor. The church bell has stopped ringing, leaving behind a ringing silence that is quickly filled by the morning sounds of the house waking up. Groans, coughs, the rustle of straw, the complaints of joints stiffened by the damp cold. You wrap your arms around yourself, rubbing your upper arms briskly to generate a spark of friction, a ghost of warmth. Your skin feels rough under your hands, bumpy, dry. It is time to start the day. But first, nature calls, and in 1325, nature does not call politely. It screams, your stomach churns. It is a familiar, cramping sensation, a reminder of the questionable stew you ate last night. There is no bathroom door to close. There is no porcelain throne. There is no flush handle. There is only the bucket. It sits in the corner of the room, near the door. A wooden pail, darkened by age and use. You stumble towards it in the gloom, navigating around the sleeping form of the goat. The smell hits you before you even reach it. It is a physical wall of odor, sulfur, ammonia, decay. It is the smell of a digestive system fighting a losing battle against parasites and bad turnips. The bucket is already half full. Your uncle used it in the night. You can tell. You hold your breath. You don't want to inhale this air. You want to keep your mouth shut tight. You squat over the bucket. The cold air bites at your exposed skin. It is humiliating. It is uncomfortable. You can hear your family moving around behind you. There is no privacy here. Everyone knows what you are doing. Everyone pretends not to hear, but the splashing sound is unmistakable. You finish as quickly as possible. Now, the clean-up. You reach for what? There is no roll of soft, white paper. There is a basket of wiping materials next to the bucket. You peer into it. Straw, a handful of dried moss, a rag that has seen better days. You pick up the moss It is scratchy, dry. It crumbles slightly in your hand. You do what you have to do. It is not clean. It is never truly clean. You just wipe away the worst of it and pull your tunic back down. Your skin feels irritated. It always does. You pick up the bucket. It is heavy. You have to empty it. You unlatch the door of the hut. Kreyak. The wooden hinges groan. You step outside. The street is a river of mud. Grey, churning mud, mixed with garbage, animal droppings, and the contents of 100 other buckets. You swing the bucket forward. Gardy-loo, you mutter half-heartedly. Splash. The contents fly out, joining the sludge in the street. The smell outside is almost as bad as inside, but at least there is a breeze. You wipe your hands on your tunic. That is your hand-washing routine. Wipe. Done. Maybe, if you pass a trough later, you'll rinse them. Maybe. Back inside, it is time to get dressed. Although getting dressed implies you were undressed to begin with. You weren't. You slept in your clothes. You are wearing a linen shift, a long, nightgown-like undergarment. It was once white, perhaps years ago. Now it is a dingy, yellowish grey, the colour of old parchment. It is stiff with sweat and dirt. Over that, you pull on your tunic. It is made of wool, heavy, coarse, brown wool. You pull it over your head. Scratch. The fabric scrapes against your neck. It smells of wet sheep and smoke. You fasten a leather belt around your waist. The leather is cracked and hard. Next, the hose. Leggings made of wool tied to your belt. They are baggy at the knees and tight at the ankles. Finally, your shoes, leather turn shoes, thin soles, no arch support. You slip your feet into them. The leather is cold and damp from yesterday. Your toes curl away from the dampness, but there is nowhere to go. You tie the thongs. You are dressed. You look exactly the same as you did yesterday, and the day before, and the month before that. Fashion is not a choice here. It is a uniform of survival. Now, your mouth, your teeth feel fuzzy, coated in a layer of plaque. You run your tongue over them. They feel rough, like little stones covered in moss. Your back molar throbs, a dull, pulsing ache that radiates into your jaw. You throb, throb, throb. It has been hurting for weeks. There is a hole in it. You can feel the sharp edge with your tongue. Rot, sugar is rare, but grit is everywhere. The stone-ground flour in your bread is full of tiny rock fragments. Every time you chew, you are sanding down your own teeth. You take a sip of wine vinegar from a clay jug and swish it around your mouth. It burns. Whistle. You spit it out onto the floor. That is your dental hygiene. The pain in your tooth subsides for a second, then returns. You know what awaits you. The barber, the pliers, the crunch of bone, but not today. Please, not today. You push the thought away. Hunger. Your stomach growls. A loud, hollow sound. It is time for breakfast. You walk over to the hearth in the center of the room. The fire has died down to embers. A pile of grey ash with a glowing red heart. Hanging over the fire is a black iron cauldron. It is crusted with soot. Inside is the pottage. Pottage is not a recipe. It is a lifestyle. It is a thick, greyish-brown stew. What is in it? Oats, barley, peas, turnips, and whatever else was found yesterday. It has been simmering in this pot for days, maybe weeks. You never empty the pot. You just add more water and more turnips to the sludge at the bottom. It is a perpetual stew, an edible history of your week. Your mother stirs it with a wooden spoon. Slop, slop, slop. The sound is thick and heavy. She ladles a portion into a wooden bowl for you. You take the bowl. It is warm. That is the best thing about it. You look at the pottage. It is lumpy. There is a layer of greenish film on top. Is that herbs or is it mold? You don't ask. You sit on a three-legged stool near the fire. You pick up a chunk of bread. This is not fluffy white bread. This is maslin bread, made of rye and barley. It is dark, dense, heavy as a brick. You tap it against the table. Tunk, tunk. It sounds like wood. You tear off a piece. It takes effort. You have to gnaw at it. You dip it into the pottage to soften it. You take a bite. The taste is bland, earthy, salty. It tastes of boiled grain and smoke. The texture is slimy from the oats, yet gritty from the bread. You chew carefully, mindful of your rotting tooth. Crunch. You hit something hard. A pebble, a piece of husk. You spit it into your hand. A small stone. You toss it into the fire and keep eating. You have to eat. You need the fuel. You are thirsty. You look at the water bucket. The water inside is brown. There are things floating in it. You saw your neighbor washing his socks in the stream yesterday, the same stream you draw water from. So you don't drink the water. You reach for the ale jug. Small beer. It is weak, cloudy, room temperature. You pour it into a wooden cup. It has a sour, yeasty smell. You take a drink. It is thick. It coats your throat. It is not refreshing. It doesn't sparkle, but it is safe. The alcohol has killed the worst of the bugs. You are drinking alcohol at 6 a.m., just enough to dull the ache in your back, just enough to make the cold seem a little less biting. You wipe the foam from your lip with your sleeve. You sit there, holding your warm bowl, staring into the dying embers of the fire. The room is dim, filled with smoke that stings your eyes. Sting, water. You blink away the tears. You look around at your family. They are all doing the same thing, hunched over their bowls, chewing silently. Faces grey in the gloom, eyes tired. There is no conversation, no laughter, just the sound of chewing. Smack, swallow, smack, swallow, and the scratching. Always the scratching. Your mother scratches her scalp. Your brother scratches his armpit. It is a subconscious rhythm. Eat, scratch, eat, scratch. You finish the last spoonful of pottage. You scrape the bowl clean with your finger and lick it. Every calorie counts. You feel a heaviness in your stomach. The pottage sits there like a stone. It is not energizing. It is just filling. It buys you another few hours of life. You stand up. You place your bowl on the bench. You stretch your arms. The wool tunic pulls tight across your shoulders. You take a deep breath. Inhale the smoke. Inhale the manure. Inhale the hopelessness. It is time to go to work. The fields are waiting. The mud is waiting. The Lord is waiting. You walk towards the door. You wrap your cloak tighter around you. It is threadbare, full of holes. You place your hand on the latch. The wood is cold and greasy. You push the door open. Kreyak. Grey light floods in. The wind howls. Whoosh. It is going to be a long day, but you are alive. For now, you step out of the hut, and the wind hits you like a physical blow. It is not just air moving. It is a solid wall of cold that slams against your chest, stealing the breath from your lungs. You gasp, a small, white puff of steam escaping your lips, instantly snatched away by the gale. The sky above is a flat, featureless sheet of grey iron. There is no sun, only a slightly lighter shade of gloom to the east, indicating that the day has officially begun. You wrap your thin, hole-ridden cloak tight around your shoulders. It is scratchy wool, saturated with the dampness of the air, and it offers about as much protection as a cobweb. The cold seeps right through the fibers, finding every gap in your tunic, settling against your skin like a layer of frost. You lower your head, tucking your chin into your chest to protect your face, and you begin the walk. The path to the fields is not a road, it is a wound in the earth. It is a churning, brown slurry of mud, trampled by hundreds of feet and hooves. You take a step, squelch. The mud sucks at your leather shoe. It grabs the heel, pulling it down, trying to strip it from your foot. You have to engage the muscles of your calf just to lift your leg again. Suck, pull. The mud releases its grip with a wet, popping sound. You take another step. Squelch. This is your commute. A slow, fighting march through the slime. The mud is cold, freezing cold. It seeps through the stitching of your shoes, soaking your woolen hose. Your toes are wet within seconds. They will stay wet for the next 12 hours. You wiggle them, trying to keep the circulation going, but they are already numb, feeling like foreign objects attached to the ends of your feet. You reach the field. It stretches out before you, a vast expanse of brown and grey, waiting to be broken. It belongs to the Lord. The soil is His. The crops are His. Even the air you breathe while standing on it feels like it belongs to Him. You are just the machine that makes it work. You walk to the tool shed, a lean-to structure that smells of wet wood and rust. You reach for your tool, a hoe, or perhaps a mattock. Pick it up. Feel the weight of it in your hands. The handle is made of ash wood, smooth in some places where hands have gripped it for decades, but splintered and rough in others. It is cold and damp. Look at the blade. It is iron, hand-forged, thick and heavy. It is pitted with orange rust. The edge is dull. This tool is your partner. It is also your torturer. You walk to your assigned strip of land. You stand there for a moment, looking at the hardened earth. It is frozen solid on top, a crust of frost over the soil. You lift the hoe. It is heavy. Your shoulders protest immediately. The deltoid muscles flare with a dull ache, remembering the thousands of times you lifted this tool yesterday. You swing it down. Thwack! The blade hits the frozen earth. It doesn't cut in smoothly. It jars. The impact travels up the wooden handle, vibrating through your hands, up your wrists, into your elbows. It is a shock wave of pain that rattles your bones. You pull back. The earth resists. You have to use your lower back, twisting your spine to tear the soil loose. Grund. You turn the earth over. It is dark, heavy clay. You lift the hoe again. Tu, thwack, pour, do, tuwak, pour. This is the rhythm of your life. It is a slow, punishing metronome. There is no variety. There is no creativity. There is only the motion. Lift, swing, hit, pull. Lift, swing, hit, pull. 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. Your breathing settles into a ragged rhythm. The cold air burns your throat, drying out your mucous membranes until you taste blood in the back of your mouth. Sweat begins to form on your brow, despite the freezing wind. It is a cold, clammy sweat. It trickles down your temples, mixing with the soot and dirt on your face, stinging your eyes. You wipe it away with a muddy hand, leaving a smear of grit across your forehead. Focus on your hand. The friction of the wooden handle against your palm is constant. Rub, rub, rub. You have calluses, thick pads of yellow, hardened skin. But even calluses have their limits. Underneath the hard skin, a blister is forming. You can feel the heat of it, a small pocket of fluid rising, separating the layers of skin. It burns. You try to adjust your grip, but there is no other way to hold the tool. You keep working. To whack. The blister pops. You feel the wetness inside your glove, if you are lucky enough to have gloves, or against the wood. The raw, pink skin underneath is exposed. The rough wood rubs directly against the raw nerve endings. It is a sharp, stinging pain that sparks every time you swing the hoe. Sting, sting, sting. But you do not stop. You cannot stop. The overseer is watching. The sun is only halfway up the sky. You tighten your grip, grinding the wood into the open wound, using the pain as fuel. Your back begins to scream. The human spine was not designed to stay bent at this angle for 12 hours a day. The muscles in your lower back tighten, turning into hard knots of tension. The vertebrae grind against each other, creak, grind. It feels like there is a hot iron bar inserted next to your spine. The pain is dull, constant, nauseating. It radiates down into your hips. You want to stand up straight. You want to stretch. You pause for a second, straightening your back. Crack, pop, crack. Your spine realigns with a sickening sound. The relief is temporary, fleeting. Get back to it, a voice shouts. You bend down again. The pain returns, welcoming you like an old friend. As you work, your mind drifts to the dangers that surround you. You look at the rusty blade of the hoe. If you slip, if that blade hits your foot, in the modern world, a cut is an inconvenience. You wash it, put a bandage on it, maybe take an antibiotic. Here, a cut is a death sentence. Imagine the blade slicing into your shin, the blood mixing with the manure-filled mud, bacteria, billions of them, ancient and hungry, swarming into the wound. There is no antiseptic. There is no steriligause. You would wrap it in a dirty rag, and then you would wait. You would wait for the heat, the redness, the swelling. You would wait for the red line to start creeping up your leg. Sepsis, gangrene, or worse, tetanus, lockjaw. You have seen it happen to your neighbor. One day he cut his hand on a rusty nail. A week later, his jaw clamped shut. His back arched uncontrollably, muscles tearing themselves apart in spasms of agony. He screamed through gritted teeth until he died. You stare at the rusty hoe. It is not just a tool. It is a loaded weapon pointed at your own body. Every swing is a gamble. To arc. You missed your foot by an inch. You exhale. You survive another swing. And if you do get sick, your mind wanders to the doctor, the barber surgeon in the village. You imagine his hut. It smells of dried blood and stale wine. His tools are laid out on a greasy table. A saw, a knife, a pair of iron pliers, a bowl of leeches. Leeches, black, slimy slugs that they attach to your skin to suck out the bad blood. You can feel the phantom sensation of them on your skin. Cold, wet, pulsing, as they fill with your life force. Or the saw. If the leg gets infected, it has to come off. No anesthesia, no numbing shot. Just a piece of leather to bite on and 4 strong men to hold you down. The sound of the saw cutting through bone. Grr, 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 grr. You shake your head violently to clear the image. The fear is a cold knot in your stomach, colder than the wind. You look up from the mud for a moment. In the distance, on top of the hill, stands the Lord's castle. It is grey stone, impenetrable, towering over the valley. Smoke rises from its chimneys, the smoke of great fireplaces burning whole logs. They are warm in there. They are eating meat. They are wearing fur. But you don't look at the castle for long. You look at what is at the bottom of the hill. The gibbet, the execution site. There is a wooden structure there. A cage hanging from a beam. Inside the cage is a body, or what is left of one. It has been there for weeks. The crows have done their work. It sways gently in the wind. Creak, creak. That man stole a sheep. Or maybe he poached a rabbit. Or maybe he just upset the wrong person. It doesn't matter. He is a warning. A grim, rotting scarecrow placed there to remind you of your place. Work, obey, or hang. The sight of it chills you more than the frost. It reminds you that your life is fragile. You are easily replaced. You are just a pair of hands holding a hoe. If you break, they will get another pair. The sun begins to dip low in the sky. The light turns a bruised purple, then a dark grey. The wind picks up, howling across the open field. Woo, woo, woo. Your sweat has frozen on your skin. You are shivering uncontrollably now. Your energy is gone. You are hollowed out. Finally, the bell rings again. Clang, clang. The workday is over. You stop. You lean on the hoe, gasping for air. Your hands are locked in the shape of the handle. You have to peel your fingers away, one by one. They are stiff, claw-like. You turn back towards the village. The walk home is even harder. Your legs are lead. Your stomach is eating itself. But you are alive. You survived the mud. You survived the rust. You survived the cold. You trudge back through the darkness, towards the faint smell of smoke and the promise of a straw mattress. One day down, thousands more to go. The mud of the medieval field fades. The smell of the pigsty and the rotting straw dissolves into the ether. The grey, heavy sky of 1,325 lifts, peeling away like layers of old paint. We are moving forward. The wheel of time turns faster. Whirr. Centuries blur. We fly east. Across the plains of Europe, across the dark forests of Poland, across the vast, endless steppes, the air changes. It becomes cleaner, sharper, and colder. Much, much colder. Welcome to Russia. Welcome to the year 1744. You are no longer a peasant trudging through mud. You are a passenger. You are sitting inside a carriage. No, not a carriage. The wheels have been taken off. They have been replaced by runners. It is a sleigh. A massive wooden sleigh, painted black and gold, gliding over a sea of white. Listen to the sound. Hissus. The steel runners slicing through the hard-packed snow. It is a smooth, continuous sound, like silk tearing. Clump, 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 clump. The muffled sound of horses' hooves in the deep snow. 6 black horses, their breath steaming in the frigid air, pulling you deeper into the heart of the empire. Look out the window. White? Everything is white. The sky is a pale, milky white. The ground is a blinding diamond white. There is no horizon. The earth and the sky merge into one infinite void of frost. Birch trees flash by skeleton fingers reaching up from the snow, black and white, stark, silent. The beauty of it is terrifying. It is a landscape that does not care if you live or die. It is vast, indifferent, and lethally cold. You pull your fur coat tighter, feel the texture. Thick, heavy sable fur. It is soft against your cheek, smelling of cedar chests and expensive perfume. But even the fur cannot stop the Russian winter. The cold here is a predator. It seeks out every gap in the window frame. It creeps around your ankles. It nips at your nose. It is a dry cold, a cold that freezes the moisture in your nostrils the moment you inhale. Crackle. Every breath is a tiny battle. You are Sophie, a young German princess. You are 14 years old. You are traveling to a new life, a new name. You are traveling to meet a husband you do not know, in a country whose language you do not speak. You feel a knot of anxiety in your stomach, tight and cold as a stone. The sleigh slows down. Ahead of you, rising out of the mist and snow, is a city, St. Petersburg. It does not look real. It looks like a stage set dropped onto the ice. Pastel-colored palaces, gold spires glittering in the weak winter sun, canals frozen into solid blocks of ice. It is beautiful, and it is a prison. The sleigh stops in front of the winter palace. It is immense, a mountain of turquoise and white stone, adorned with gold statues. You step out. The wind hits you. It screams off the frozen Neva River. Whoosh! It cuts through your layers of silk and velvet as if you were naked. You hurry inside. The heavy doors close behind you. Boom! The wind is gone, but the cold remains. The winter palace is not warm. It is a cavern of marble and stone. The air inside is still and frigid. The fireplaces are huge, burning entire trees. But the heat is swallowed by the vastness of the rooms. You walk down a hallway. Click, clack, click, clack. Your heels echo on the polished parquet floor. The hallway stretches on forever. Mirrors line the walls, reflecting your small, shivering figure into infinity. You feel watched because you are. Every servant, every guard, every courtier, they are eyes. They watch how you walk. They watch how you breathe. The walls have ears, literally. There are spy holes drilled behind tapestries. You lower your eyes. You keep your face blank, a mask of porcelain. You enter your chambers. The room is opulent. Gold leaf covers the mouldings. Velvet drapes hang from the windows. A crystal chandelier hangs from the ceiling, its candles flickering in the draught. But it feels empty. There is a smell here. Take a sniff. It smells of old beeswax, of stale face powder, of damp stone. And underneath it all, the faint, musky scent of rats. You are alone. But then the door opens. He enters, the Grand Duke, Peter, your husband-to-be. He is pale, thin. His face is scarred from smallpox. He does not look at you with love. He looks at you with boredom. He is holding something. Look closely. A toy soldier, a tiny figure made of lead, painted in Prussian blue. He walks past you, ignoring your curtsy. He goes to the table and starts arranging his soldiers. Click, click, click. He lines them up, row after row. He is a man-child, obsessed with war games, obsessed with Prussia, hating Russia, hating you. He starts talking to the soldiers, whispering commands. He doesn't ask you how you are. He doesn't offer you a seat. You are just a piece of furniture to him, a broodmare brought in to produce an air and then be silent. He tells you a story, a dark, twisted story. He points to a corner of the room. Do you see the rat? He asks, giggling. You look. There is a small scaffold built out of wood, and hanging from it is a rat, a real dead rat, with a tiny noose around its neck. He committed treason, Peter whispers, his eyes wide and manic. He ate one of my soldiers, so I held a court-martial, and I executed him. You stare at the hanging rat. You stare at the man who will be emperor. A chill runs down your spine that has nothing to do with the winter. You are trapped, locked in a frozen palace with a madman. The silence of the room amplifies the sound of your own heart. Thump, thump, thump. It is the sound of a bird trapped in a cage. Night falls early in Street Petersburg. The darkness presses against the windows. You retire to your bed. It is a massive four-poster bed, draped in heavy brocade. You climb in. The sheets are freezing. You shiver for an hour before your body heat warms a small patch. You lie there, staring into the darkness. You can hear the wind howling outside, clawing at the glass. You can hear the footsteps of the guards patrolling the hallway. Thud, thud, thud. You are completely isolated. Your mother is a spy. Your husband is insane. The Empress is terrifying. You have no friends. You have no power. You are just Sophie, a German girl lost in the snow. But then something shifts. In the darkness, your eyes harden. You feel a spark ignite in your chest, a tiny blue flame of anger, of ambition. You will not die here. You will not fade away. You rise from the bed. You light a single candle, flicker. The small flame pushes back the shadows. You pick up a book, a Russian grammar book. You sit at the desk, shivering in your nightgown. You open the book. The pages crinkle, rustle. You begin to read. You begin to learn. You whisper the strange, difficult Russian words to yourself. Empress, power, Lucia. You study until your eyes burn. You study until the candle melts down to a puddle of wax. You are forging a weapon. The weapon is your mind. The weapon is your charm. You will stop being Sophie. You will become Catherine. Let the cold bite. Let the husband play with his rats. Let the court whisper. You are playing a longer game. A game of survival. A game of thrones. The wind howls outside, burying the palace in snow. But inside the small circle of candlelight, you are awake. You are plotting. You are waiting. The winter is long, but you are patient. And patience is the deadliest weapon of all. The candle in Sophie's room has burned down to a pool of hot wax. The long, cold winter of waiting is over. The years of silence, of studying, of enduring the madness of Peter III are finished. It is time to move. The year is 1762. It is July. The Russian summer has arrived, but it brings no warmth to the political chill of St. Petersburg. The air is thick with tension, heavy with the humidity of the swamps on which the city was built. You are no longer Sophie. You are Catherine, and you are about to steal an empire. Imagine the dawn of the coup. It is barely light. The sky is a bruised purple, bleeding into grey. You are awakened not by a servant, but by a conspirator, Alexei Orlov. He bursts into your room at the Peterhof Palace. He smells of horse sweat, leather, and adrenaline. It is time, he whispers. There is no time for corsets, no time for powder, no time for breakfast. You dress in a simple black dress. You run out into the cool morning air. A carriage is waiting. Climb in. The door slams shut. Bang. The horses take off. This is not a gentle ride. This is a race for your life. If you fail today, you die. It is that simple. You will be locked in a convent or buried in a shallow grave. Feel the vibration of the carriage wheels on the cobblestones. Rumble, jolt, rumble, jolt. The carriage sways violently. You grip the leather strap. Your knuckles are white. You are speeding towards the barracks of the Ismailovsky regiment. You need the army. Without the army, you are nothing. You arrive. The soldiers are waiting. They are tired of Peter. They are tired of his Prussian uniforms, his hatred of Russia, his childish games. They see you. You are not cowering. You are standing tall. You put on the uniform of a soldier, a green coat borrowed from a guard. It smells of tobacco and gunpowder. It is too big for you, but it fits your spirit perfectly. You mount a white horse, brilliant, stallion. Feel the power of the animal beneath you, the heat of its body, the ripple of its muscles as it shifts its weight. You draw a sword. The metal sings as it leaves the scabbard. Shing, you raise it. For Russia, you cry. And the roar that comes back is deafening. Thousands of voices, thousands of boots stomping on the ground. Hurrah, hurrah. It is a sound that shakes the windows of the Winter Palace miles away. Peter hears it, and he knows in that moment that he is doomed. The coup is bloodless. Peter surrenders without a fight. He cries like a child who has had his toy taken away. He begs to keep his violin, his dog, and his mistress. You grant him the first two. He is taken away to Ropsha, a country estate. It is a prison now. Let us drift there. Let us look into the room where the emperor sits. It is dark. The curtains are drawn. Peter sits at a table. He is trembling. He drinks wine, glass after glass, trying to drown his terror. Clink, chlach, clink, yo. He is alone. Or he thinks he is. But the shadows are moving. Alexei Orlov is there. And others. We will never know exactly what happened in that room. History draws a veil over it. But we can hear the struggle, the scuffle of boots on the floorboards. Scuff, thud, the shattering of a glass. Crash, a muffled cry, a gasp for air, a hand clamped over a mouth. And then silence, a heavy, Absolute silence. The official report says he died of hemorrhoidal colic. A polite fiction. A lie wrapped in medical Latin. We know the truth. You know the truth. The path to the throne is paved with the bodies of those who stood in the way. Catherine is now the empress, the autocrat of all the Russias. She sits on the throne. Feel the velvet of the cushion. Feel the cold gold of the armrests. The crown is placed on her head, the great imperial crown. It weighs 9 pounds. 9 pounds of diamonds, pearls, and gold. It is heavy. It presses down on her neck. It is the weight of responsibility, the weight of sin. She wears it. She does not flinch. But power is a lonely island. Years pass. The empress grows older. The court grows colder. And from the darkness of the vast Russian steppe, a new nightmare emerges. Pugachev, a Cossack, a man with a black beard and eyes like burning coal. He claims to be Peter III. He claims he survived. He claims he is the true Tsar. It is a lie. But the peasants believe him. They want to believe him. They rise up. A wave of fire and blood sweeps across the Volga. Manor houses are burned. Nobles are slaughtered. Fear grips St. Petersburg. Catherine does not panic. She sends her armies. She crushes the rebellion with an iron fist. Pugachev is captured. He is brought to Moscow, but not in a carriage. In a cage, an iron cage. Let us stand in the crowd in Moscow on that freezing winter day in 1775. The air is thick with the smell of unwashed bodies and fear. The snow is packed hard and slippery. The cage approaches. Creak, rattle, creak. Inside, Pugachev is chained. He looks like a wild animal. He grips the iron bars. His hands are frostbitten. He looks out at the crowd. He does not see hatred. He sees fear. He knows he is going to die. He is dragged to the scaffold. The executioner is waiting. An axe glints in the pale winter sun. The crowd holds its breath. Sad. The head falls. The rebellion is over. But the ghost of it remains. Catherine knows now that her throne sits on a volcano. She becomes harder, colder. The enlightened empress who read Voltaire and dreamed of freedom locks those dreams away in a drawer. She realizes that in Russia, you cannot be loved. You must be feared. And then come the whispers. The rumors, they start in the French court, spreading like a venereal disease across Europe. They say she is insatiable. They say she is a monster of lust. They invent stories, horrible, grotesque stories about her and her horses. It is not true. It is filth, but it hurts. Imagine sitting in your private chambers, reading these pamphlets. The ink is black and venomous. They reduce you, the woman who expanded the empire, who built the Hermitage, who vaccinated the people, to a punchline, to a beast. You crumple the paper, crinkle, you throw it into the fire. Whoosh, it burns, but the words do not burn. They stay in the air. You are the most powerful woman in the world, yet you cannot stop them from calling you a whore. So you build a wall around your heart. You take lovers, yes, many of them. Potemkin, Orlov, Zubov, young, handsome men. But you do not let them in. Not really. They are companions. They are tools. They are distractions from the crushing loneliness of the crown. You reward them with palaces and titles, and then you send them away. You are alone in the Winter Palace, surrounded by gold, surrounded by ghosts. The ghost of Peter, choking on the floor. The ghost of Pugachev, bleeding in the snow. The ghost of the girl named Sophie, who died long ago. It is 1796. You are old now. Your body is failing. You sit in your water closet. It is a private moment, a mundane moment. You feel a sudden pressure in your head, a flash of light. Then, darkness. You fall, thump. The servants find you later, lying on the floor. They cannot lift you. You are too heavy. So they lay a mattress on the floor. You lie there for hours, breathing heavily. Rasp, wheeze, rasp. The empire waits. The court waits. And then the breathing stops. Silence returns to the Winter Palace. The great Catherine is gone. Her legacy is carved in stone and written in blood. She expanded the borders. She collected the art. She survived the wolves. But as we leave her body cooling on the floor, we feel the weight of it all. The sheer, crushing weight of holding a country like Russia together. It is a burden no human should bear. Leave her to the history books. Leave the snow to cover the tracks. The wind howls outside, erasing the footprints of the coup, the rebellion, and the lovers. Everything turns to white. The white snow of Russia fades. The howling wind of St. Petersburg dies down, replaced by a new sound. Listen. Drip, drip, drip. It is the sound of water falling on leaves. Big, thick, waxy leaves. The air warms up. It becomes heavy, thick, wet. It wraps around you like a steaming towel. We have left the frozen north. We have traveled back in time and across the ocean. The year is 600 AD, or perhaps it is 1994. The timeline blurs here because in the jungle, time does not move in a straight line. It moves in circles. We are in Mexico, Chiapas, the ancient city of Palenque. The jungle is alive. It is a breathing, screaming entity. Listen to the soundtrack of the rainforest. How the monkeys roar in the distance. It sounds like a jaguar growling, or the wind tearing through a tunnel. Cicadas buzz, an electric, high-pitched drill that never stops. Zzz, 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 zzz. The air smells of rot, of life exploding out of death. Wet moss, decaying wood, orchid nectar, and the metallic tang of ozone before a storm. Looming out of the green canopy are the temples. Grey limestone pyramids, stained black by centuries of rain and lichen. They look like jagged teeth of the earth jutting into the sky. We are focused on one temple, not the biggest one, Templo Treza. It sits quietly next to the Temple of the Inscriptions, where the great King Paco lies. For centuries, people thought Temple the 13th was empty, just a pile of rocks. But in 1994, a team of archaeologists found a door, a hidden door, buried under rubble. Let us join them. Imagine you are standing at the top of the stairs. You turn on your flashlight. The beam cuts through the humid darkness, the cone of dusty light. You step inside. The air instantly changes. Outside, it was hot and loud. Inside, it is cool, dead silent. The air here has not moved for 1,300 years. It is stale. It tastes flat. You walk down a narrow, vaulted corridor. The walls are weeping with moisture. Drip, plink. You reach a wall, a solid masonry wall blocking the way. But there is a small hole drilled by the team. You put your eye to the hole. You look inside and you see red. The seal is broken. The archaeologists break down the wall. Crash, rumble, dust billows out. But it is not grey dust. It is red dust. Brilliant, shocking, blood-red dust. You step into the chamber. It is a small stone room, vaulted like a cave. In the center sits a stone sarcophagus, heavy, plain, limestone. But everything, the floor, the walls, the coffin, is covered in this red powder. What is it? It is cinnabar, mercury sulfide. To the Maya, it was the color of the rising sun, the color of blood, the color of life force. To us, it is poison. Do not breathe too deeply. Cinnabar is toxic. If you inhale it, the mercury enters your blood. It attacks your nervous system. It makes you shake. It makes you go mad. The air in this room is literally poisonous. It hangs in the air like a crimson fog. It coats your throat with a metallic taste, like sucking on a copper coin. You approach the sarcophagus. The heavy stone lid has been lifted. Look inside. Lying there is a skeleton, but not a white skeleton, a red skeleton. The bones are saturated with the red dust. Every rib, every finger bone, the skull, all dyed a deep, violent crimson. It looks like she is still bleeding. It looks like she was stripped of her flesh and dipped in the blood of the gods. She is known as the Red Queen. We do not know her name. No glyphs were found. No inscription says, "Here lies." She is a mystery wrapped in poison. But she was powerful. Look at her face, or what remains of it. The skull is covered by a mask, a mosaic mask made of malachite. Not jade, malachite. Hundreds of tiny green tiles glued together to recreate her living features. The eyes of the mask are made of obsidian, black volcanic glass. They stare up at you, empty, reflective, staring from the depths of the 7th century into your soul. Imagine the hands that placed this mask on her dead face. The reverence, the silence, the dusting of the red powder, handful after handful of poison poured over the body. Swish, puff, swish, puff, until she was completely buried in red. Why? To preserve her? To protect her? Or to mark her as something dangerous? Something that belongs to the other world. The Maya believed in Sibelba, the place of fright, the underworld. It was not a heaven in the clouds. It was a watery, dark cave system beneath the earth. To get there, you had to cross rivers of blood, rivers of pus, and face the lords of death. This woman, this Red Queen, she was dressed for that journey. She was equipped for war against the demons. Next to her body, they found a small obsidian blade, razor sharp, and a stingray spine, long, jagged, needle-like. Do you know what that was for? Auto-sacrifice, bloodletting. In life, she would have used that stingray spine to pierce her tongue or her ears, to draw blood onto paper, to burn it as an offering to the gods. Imagine the pain, the sharp, jagged spine tearing through soft tissue, the copper taste of blood in the mouth, the smoke rising, carrying her pain to the sky. She lived a life of ritual pain, and she died in a tomb of toxic dust. Stand there in the silence of the tomb. The flashlight flickers. The shadows dance on the wet walls. You feel claustrophobic. The weight of the pyramid is above you. Thousands of tons of stone pressing down. You are buried alive with her. The red dust is settling on your clothes. You feel a connection to this nameless woman. Who was she? Was she the wife of Pakal the Great? Was she a powerful ruler in her own right? Or was she a sacrifice? The silence gives no answers. Only the obsidian eyes of the mask stare back. Blinking is impossible for her. She is eternal. She is waiting for the cycle of time to turn, waiting to rise again from the red dust. You back away from the sarcophagus. You want to leave. You want fresh air. You want to escape the red fog. You walk back up the narrow stairs. Step, step, step. The air gets lighter. The smell of the jungle returns. You step out of the temple. The sun is setting. The sky is purple and orange. You take a deep breath of the humid air. It feels sweet after the metallic taste of the tomb. But you look at your hands. There is a faint red smudge on your fingertip. Shinobar. You rub it, but it stains the skin. You carry a piece of the Red Queen with you now. A microscopic dot of poison. A reminder that the past is never truly dead. It is just waiting underground. Toxic and beautiful. Let the image of the red skeleton fade. Let the roar of the howler monkeys fade. The jungle recedes into the mist. We are leaving the ancient world behind. We are moving forward again. The wheel of time spins. Wura. We are leaving the silence of the stone temples for the noise of the modern world. But not a happy noise. A noise of metal. the noise of pain. We are going to the early 20th century, to the crash of steel, to the smell of ether and blood, to the Blue House in Mexico City. Prepare yourself. We are going to meet Frida. But first, we must float in the void between eras. Wash the red dust from your mind. Float in the cool, dark river of time. Let the poison dissolve. You are safe. You are just a traveler. Rest in the darkness for a moment. Gather your strength, because the next stop is pain turned into gold. The red dust of the Red Queen's tomb is still settling in your mind. Can you feel it? The faint, metallic taste of cinnabar on your tongue. The weight of the limestone pyramid pressing down on your chest. We are not leaving the Maya world yet. We are going deeper. We are going to follow the path that the Red Queen took after her eyes closed for the last time. We are going to descend into the place that terrified and fascinated the ancients. Xibalba, the place of fright, the underworld. Imagine the jungle floor of Palenque. It is night. The moon is hidden behind thick, bruised rain clouds. The air is saturated with humidity, a heavy, wet blanket that clings to your skin. You are standing before the mouth of a cave. It is a limestone cenote, a sinkhole opening into the earth. Roots of giant ceiba trees hang down into the black void like skeletal fingers reaching for water. Water drips from the stalactites above. Blunk, blunk, blunk. The sound echoes up from the depths. It sounds miles away. This is the entrance. The mouth of the earth monster. You must step inside. You float down. Down through the humidity, down through the roots. The temperature drops. The sticky heat of the jungle is replaced by a damp subterranean chill. It smells of wet rock, of guano, of stagnant water, and something else, faintly metallic, like old copper coins. Blood. You land on the shore of a river. But this is not a river of water. Listen to the flow. Skitter, scratch, click, hiss. It is not a splashing sound. It is a dry, insectile sound. You look closer in the dim, phosphorescent light of the cave fungi. It is a river of scorpions, millions of them. Black, shiny carapaces flowing over each other like a living liquid, tails raised, stingers dripping with venom. They are the guardians of the first level. You do not have to walk through them. You are a spirit. You float above. But look at the detail of them. See the way their legs move in unison. A carpet of black armor. The sound is deafening in the enclosed space. A constant, low-frequency buzzing that vibrates in your teeth. Yes, it is the sound of danger. Pure, distilled danger. But you are safe. You are watching from above. Beyond the scorpions lies the river of blood. Thick, viscous, dark red, almost black. It flows slowly, like lava. Chlup, chlup. Bubbles rise to the surface and burst with a wet sound. It smells of iron. Intense, overwhelming iron. It is the blood of every sacrifice ever made. Every stingray spine piercing a tongue, every obsidian knife opening a chest. It flows here. It feeds the roots of the world tree. Watch the current. It is hypnotic. Swirls of crimson mixing with clots of shadow. It reminds you that life is fragile, that inside every warm body is this heavy, red liquid waiting to spill. The Maya did not fear this. They respected it. Blood was the fuel of the universe. To float over this river is to float over the essence of life itself. We drift further, deeper. The cave widens into a vast cavern, a subterranean ball court. Here, the lords of Xibalba dwell. 1 death, 7 death, flying scab, gathered blood. Their names are horrors. Their faces are skulls stripped of flesh. They sit on thrones made of bone. They are waiting for the game, the ball game, the game of life and death. Imagine the sound of the heavy rubber ball hitting the stone floor. Dut, it echoes like thunder. Dut, the players are the hero twins. They are playing for their lives. They are playing for the sun and the moon. You watch from the shadows. The lords of death are laughing. Hey, hey, hey. A dry, rattling laugh, like dry leaves blowing over gravestones. They smoke cigars, but they are not cigars. They are rolled tobacco leaves that never burn out. The smoke fills the cavern. It smells pungent, earthy, intoxicating. It swirls around the stalagmites, creating shapes, faces, jaguars, serpents. The smoke is a veil between the worlds. Look at the walls of the cavern. They are wet with condensation. But wait, that is not water. It is Pus, the house of oozing, one of the torture chambers of Xibalba. Yellow, sickly fluid weeping from the rock. It smells sweet, sickly sweet, like rotting fruit. It is disgusting, but in this deep relaxation, it is just texture. It is just a sensation. You are not touching it. You are observing it. Like a scientist observing a petri dish. The grotesque becomes fascinating. The horror becomes a pattern. We drift past the house of bats. Squeak, flap, squeak, flap. Thousands of bats hanging from the ceiling. Komazuts. The bat god. He waits with a knife to take the head of the loser. But tonight, the bats are sleeping. They are wrapped in their leathery wings like tiny, dark fruit. They are warm bodies in a cold place. Even here, in the depths of hell, there is life. There is sleep. The bats are sleeping upside down, gravity reversed. Imagine hanging like that, blood rushing to your head, the world flipped. Let your mind flip. Let up become down. Let dark become light. Let fear become peace. You drift past the lords, past the rivers. You are following the Red Queen. She has passed the tests. She carried her jade mask. She offered her blood. She has navigated the maze. She is rising. She is climbing the world tree. The roots of the ceiba tree go down into Xibalba, but its branches reach up to the heavens. You follow her spirit up the trunk. Up, 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 out of the damp, out of the smell of iron, out of the darkness. You emerge into the night sky. The jungle canopy is below you now. A sea of black leaves. Above you, the Milky Way. The Maya called it the White Road, the Road of Souls. It stretches across the sky like a river of diamond. The Red Queen is there now. She has become a star. She is looking down on the temple where her bones lie in red dust. She is at peace. The journey through hell was necessary. To be reborn, you must first die. To reach the light, you must traverse the dark. Float here for a moment, suspended between the jungle and the stars. The air is cool and fresh. The horror of Xibalba is gone. It was just a dream, a test. You survived it. You are lighter now. The fear has been washed away in the river of blood. The anxiety has been eaten by the scorpions. You are clean. You are empty. You are ready for the next chapter. The stars begin to spin, round and round, a vortex of light. It pulls you in. It pulls you forward in time. The jungle fades. The pyramids crumble into dust. The trees are replaced by buildings. The silence of the night is replaced by the hum of a city. We are leaving the ancient world. We are going to the 20th century, to a different kind of pain, to a different kind of blood, to Mexico City. The year the bus broke, the year the spine shattered, the year the art began. Take a deep breath, prepare yourself. We are going to witness a collision. But do not be afraid. It is in slow motion. It is history. It cannot hurt you. It is just a story painted in gold and red. Drift towards the blue house. Drift towards the bus stop. The sun is shining. It is a beautiful day for a tragedy. The humidity of the Maya jungle evaporates. The cool starlight of the Milky Way fades into the bright, harsh glare of the midday sun. We have arrived in Mexico City. The year is 1925, September 17th. It is a warm, dry afternoon. The air smells of dust, of roasting corn, of exhaust fumes from the newly popular automobiles, and the faint, sweet scent of jacaranda trees. We are standing on a street corner. The world is colorful here, vibrant, noisy. Vendors are shouting, "Tamales! Elotes!" Music is drifting from a cantina. A guitar strumming a corrido. Strum, strum, strum. It feels alive. It feels chaotic. It feels happy. And there she is, Frida. She is 18 years old. She is not the icon yet. She is not the woman on the t-shirt. She is just a girl. She is small, fierce, dressed in a German school uniform, a navy blue skirt and a blouse. She is laughing. She is walking with her boyfriend, Alejandro. They are young. They are in love. They are arguing about something trivial. She has a small limp, a relic of polio from her childhood, but she hides it well. She moves with a defiant energy. They are looking for a bus. They miss the first one. Fate is strange, isn't it? A matter of seconds. If they had caught that first bus, history would be different. There would be no paintings, no Casa Azul museum, no legend. But they missed it. So they wait for the next one. And here it comes. A wooden bus. Paint peeling. Tires worn. It looks like a colorful wooden box on wheels. They climb on. Step, step. They find a seat near the back. The bus is crowded. There are market women with baskets of chickens. Kluk, kluk. There are workers in overalls smelling of sawdust. There is a man carrying a bag of gold dust, an artisan, a painter perhaps. Frida sits down. The wooden seat is hard. The bus vibrates as the engine idles. Rumble, rumble, shake. She leans her head against the window. The glass is warm from the sun. She watches the city roll by. The colors blur into streaks of pink and yellow. She is happy. She is going home. The bus lurches forward. It turns onto a broad avenue. And then time slows down. We enter the bullet time of memory. From a side street, a streetcar appears. A tram, solid steel, heavy, unstoppable. It is moving too fast. The bus driver tries to speed up to cross the tracks. A fatal miscalculation. You watch it happen from above. The two vehicles moving towards each other like magnets, inexorably, inevitably. There is no sound yet, just the visual geometry of a crash. The nose of the streetcar meets the side of the wooden bus. Now, the sound, it is not a crash. It is not a bang. It is a tearing sound. Scream, scream, like a giant piece of fabric being ripped in half. The wood of the bus gives way instantly. It splinters. It shatters. The steel of the tram plows through it like a knife through butter. The bus is dragged, pushed against a wall. It bends. It bursts. Inside, gravity disappears. People are thrown. Baskets fly open. Chickens flap in the air. Feathers exploding like white confetti. And Frida is thrown forward. And in the chaos, a handrail, a solid iron handrail, snaps loose. It becomes a spear. It finds her. It enters her left hip. It exits through her vagina. It nails her to the wreckage. But she does not scream. Not yet. The shock is absolute. The brain cannot process this level of violation. The streetcar stops. The dust settles. The silence returns for a heartbeat. And then, the detail that makes it a myth. The man with the gold dust, his bag burst open in the impact. The fine, glittering gold powder is in the air. It settles on everything. It settles on the wreckage. It settles on the blood. It settles on Frida. She is lying on the broken floorboards. Her clothes have been torn away by the force of the crash. She is naked. She is bleeding. And she is covered in gold. She looks like an Aztec sacrifice. She looks like a statue of a goddess, broken and gilded. The blood is red, the gold is yellow. The contrast is blindingly beautiful and horrific. People start to scream. La bailarina, someone shouts. The dancer. They think she is a dancer because of the gold and the way her body is twisted. They try to move her, and then the handrail, a man trying to help, pulls it out. Huck. That is when the scream comes. The scream that echoes through the rest of her life. It is the sound of a life breaking in two. Before the accident and after. The ambulance ride. The Red Cross hospital. The smell of ether, chloroform, iodine. The smell of fear. She is broken. Her spine is broken in 3 places. Her collarbone, her ribs, her pelvis. Her leg is shattered in 11 places. Her foot is crushed. She is a jigsaw puzzle of bones in a bag of skin. The doctors look at her and shake their heads. She will not live, they say. She should not be alive, they whisper. But Frida is stubborn. Her father was German. Her mother was Mexican. She has the discipline of the one and the fire of the other. She refuses to die. They put her in a cast, a full-body cast, plaster of Paris. It hardens around her. Hiss. It warms up as it sets, then cools down to a hard, white shell. She is encased, trapped. She cannot move. She cannot turn over. She can only stare at the ceiling. Imagine the claustrophobia, itching, sweating. The pain is constant, a dull, grinding roar in her hips, a sharp, stabbing, lightning in her spine. She lies there for a month. Then another. The hospital room is white, sterile, boring. Boredom is a different kind of torture. Her mind is active. Her mind is racing. But her body is a stone. To save her sanity, her mother does something genius. She installs a mirror on the underside of the canopy of her bed. Frida opens her eyes. And what does she see? Herself, staring back, her own dark eyes, her own unibrow, her own pain. She is the only visitor who never leaves. I am the subject I know best, she thinks. Her father brings her paints. She cannot sit up, so she paints lying down. Dip the brush, swish, apply the color, stroke, red. The color of her blood, blue. The color of her house, yellow. The color of the gold dust. She paints her cast. She turns her prison into a canvas. She paints butterflies on the plaster. She paints flowers growing out of her scars. She is reclaiming her body. The accident tried to destroy her. It tried to turn her into a victim. But paint is power. Every brushstroke is an act of defiance. I am still here, the brush says. I am still me. The colors scream. The pain never leaves her. Not really. For the rest of her life, she will live with it. It becomes her roommate, her shadow. She names it. She paints it. She paints the broken column. Imagine that painting. Her torso split open. Inside, her spine is a crumbling Greek column. Sharp nails are driven into her skin. Tears stream down her face. But look at her eyes. They are not begging for pity. They are strong, fierce, unwavering. She is looking straight at you. She is saying, yes, I am broken, but I am beautiful. Drift into that hospital room now. It is quiet. It is night. Frida is sleeping. Her breathing is shallow because of the corset. Hoo, hoo, hoo. The smell of oil paint lingers in the air. Turpentine and linseed oil. The mirror above her reflects her sleeping face. She is dreaming. In her dream, she is not broken. She is dancing. She is running. She is chasing a deer in the forest. She is flying over the pyramids of Teotihuacan. Her body is light, weightless. The gold dust is not on her skin. It is in the air, like stars. You watch her sleep. You realize that pain is a crucible. It burns away the unnecessary. It leaves only the essential. Frida lost her health. She lost her ability to have children. She lost her freedom of movement. But she found her voice. She found her art. She found a way to turn suffering into something eternal. Float away from the hospital bed. Float out of the window into the Mexico City night. The city is quiet now. The streetcars are sleeping in the depot. The wreckage of the bus has been cleared away. The blood has been washed off the street. But the memory remains. The energy remains. Pain does not disappear. It changes form. It becomes energy. It becomes history. It becomes art. You are floating high above the city now. The lights of Mexico City twinkle below you. You feel a deep, heavy tiredness. Not the tiredness of exhaustion, but the tiredness of having witnessed too much. You have seen the mud of the Middle Ages. You have seen the snow of Russia. You have seen the red dust of the Maya tomb. You have seen the gold dust of the crash. You are heavy with stories, weighted down by time. It is time to let it all go. It is time to return to your own time, to your own body, to your own safe, unbroken, warm bed. Let the colors fade. Let the red and the gold and the white dissolve into grey. Let the sounds of the past fade into silence. No more screams, no more bells, no more wind, just silence, velvety, dark, empty silence. You are drifting in the void between worlds. Prepare yourself for the final rest. The journey is almost over. The Museum of Dreams is closing its doors. The exhibits are going dark. You are almost home. The crash of the bus in Mexico City fades. The scream of metal tearing through wood dissolves into the ether. The gold dust settles on the blood, and then the blood itself dries, turns to rust, and crumbles away. The timeline is no longer moving forward. It has stopped. We have reached the end of the struggle. We are now standing at the edge of the great ocean of time. Behind us lies the noise, the church bells of the Middle Ages, the cannons of the Russian coup, the howler monkeys of the Maya jungle, the streetcars of Mexico. But ahead of us is the silence, the deep, heavy, velvet silence of history. We are going to take a final walk, a slow patrol through the ruins of the lives we have witnessed. We are going to visit the aftermath, because the most comforting thing about history, the darkest and most beautiful truth, is that it ends. Pain is temporary. Suffering is temporary. Only the silence is eternal. And tonight, you are going to wrap yourself in that silence like a heavy fur coat. Let us float back to the beginning, back to the year 1325, to the mud. But the mud is dry now. The wooden hut where you woke up with the fleas and the cow, it is gone. Time has eaten it. The thatch roof rotted away centuries ago, turning into mulch for the forest floor. The wattle and dove walls dissolved in the rain, returning to the earth from which they came. We are standing in a green meadow. It is quiet here. The wind blows through the tall grass. Swish, swish, swish. Underneath this grass lies the village. Underneath the roots of the oak trees lie the people. Think of the peasant we inhabited, the one with the aching back, the one with the rotting tooth, the one who shivered in the cold. He is resting now, truly resting. His back does not hurt anymore. The vertebrae that ground together have returned to dust. The nerves that carried the signals of pain have vanished. The hunger that gnawed at his stomach is gone. He has no need for pottage. He has no need for fire. He is part of the soil. He is part of the tree. There is a profound peace in this biology. The struggle for survival is over. The Lord who owned the land, he is dust too. The king who taxed the Lord, dust. In the earth, there is no hierarchy. There is no poverty. There is only the cool, dark embrace of the ground. Feel that relief. Imagine laying down a heavy burden that you have carried for a lifetime. That is what death was for them, a release, a long exhale after a short, hard breath. Ah, see, the meadow is peaceful. The sun sets over the grass. The sheep graze on the mounds, unaware of the history beneath their hooves. All the fear, all the cold, all the scratching, it all ended in this quiet, green place. You are safe here. You are witnessing the ultimate resolution of all problems. Now, let the meadow dissolve. The white snow begins to fall again. We are back in St. Petersburg, but it is not 1762. It is today. The Winter Palace is still standing, but it is not a home anymore. It is a museum. The Hermitage, it is night. The tourists have gone. The lights are dimmed. We are floating through the hallways. Click, clack. Only the footsteps of the security guards break the silence. Look at the throne room. The throne is empty. The red velvet is still plush, but no one sits there. Catherine is gone. The woman who worried about the rumors, who fought the rebels, who plotted in the dark, she is at peace. Her ambition, which burned like a wildfire, has gone out. Her fear of losing power is over. She lies in the Peter and Paul Cathedral in a marble tomb. Solid, white marble. It is cool to the touch. Run your spectral hand over the lid of her tomb. It is smooth, flawless. Inside, there is no scheming. There is no coup. There is just dust. The greatness she fought for is now just a word carved in stone. Does it matter now what the French court whispered about her? Does it matter now that her husband hated her? No. The silence of the tomb swallows all gossip. It swallows all pride. It swallows all shame. There is a comfort in this insignificance. Even the greatest empress becomes quiet in the end. If she can let go of her empire, surely you can let go of your day. If she can lay down the burden of Russia, surely you can lay down the burden of your thoughts. Look at the portraits on the walls. They are just paint and canvas. They are watching the empty room. The eyes that once struck terror into the hearts of generals are now just oil pigment cracking with age. The stillness here is heavy, curated, preserved. It smells of old varnish and floor wax. It is a library of silence. Rest in the knowledge that even the loudest voices in history eventually stop speaking. The snow melts. The humidity returns. We are back in the Maya jungle. But the temple is no longer a secret. The Red Queen has been moved. Her bones were taken from the sarcophagus. They were cleaned. They were studied. Now they rest in a climate-controlled case in a museum, or perhaps they will return to the earth. But the spirit has long since left Xibalba. Go back to the empty tomb in Temple 13. The red dust is still there, clinging to the corners, but the malice is gone. The poison has lost its purpose. The scorpions of the underworld have dispersed. The river of blood has dried up. It is just a stone room now, quiet, dark, damp. A bat hangs from the ceiling, sleeping. Squeak. The terror of the ancient rituals has faded. The obsidian knife is blunt. The stingray spine is brittle. The gods who demanded blood are hungry no more, for no one worships them. They have faded into the mist of mythology. There is a safety in being forgotten. The Red Queen doesn't have to perform rituals anymore. She doesn't have to maintain the cosmic balance. She can just be. The jungle has reclaimed the city. Roots wrap around the stones, holding them in a slow, crushing embrace. Crackle, grow, nature takes back everything in the end. The anxiety of the Maya kings, their obsession with time and calendars and doom, it is all covered in moss now, soft, green, velvet moss. It muffles the sound. It softens the sharp edges of the stone. It invites you to touch it. Imagine resting your cheek against that cool, mossy stone, smelling the rain, hearing the insects, realizing that the civilization has ended, but the earth continues. The earth always catches us when we fall. We are all just seeds waiting to be planted. And finally, the blue house, Koyoakan, the fire of Frida's pain. Frida requested to be cremated. She did not want to be buried lying down. I have spent too much time lying down, she said. So imagine the fire, not a fire of destruction, but a fire of liberation. The flames consumed the broken spine. They consumed the shattered leg. They consumed the gangrenous foot. The fire burned away the pain that had trapped her for 30 years. It turned the heavy, leaden body into light ash, grey, weightless ash. They put her ash in a pre-Columbian urn, a toad-shaped urn. It sits in her bedroom in the Casa Azul. Go there now. The room is exactly as she left it. Her paints are on the table, dried up now. Her wheelchair sits in the corner, empty. The mirror still hangs above the bed, but it reflects an empty pillow. The suffering is gone. The screams are gone. The surgeries are gone. There is only the memory of art. The Viva la Vida written on the watermelon is immortal, but the pain that painted it is mortal. It died with her. There is a profound relief in that. Pain has an expiration date. It cannot last forever. The silence of her bedroom is colourful. It is filled with the ghosts of laughter and tequila and parrots, but it is still a silence. The silence of a battle that has been fought and finished. The soldier has laid down her sword. The artist has laid down her brush. The body has been released from its duty. Now, bring all these silences together. The silence of the grassy meadow over the medieval village. The silence of the marble tomb in St. Petersburg. The silence of the empty limestone crypt in Palenque. The silence of the ash in the urn in Mexico. Weave them together into a blanket. A heavy patchwork quilt of history. Wrap it around yourself. Feel the weight of it. It is heavy, but it is not crushing. It is grounding. It tells you that you are part of a long, long line of existence. You are not alone in your tiredness. Billions have been tired before you. Billions have sought rest before you, and they all found it. The great relief awaits everyone. But you do not have to die to find it. You just have to sleep. Sleep is the little death, the gentle practice. It is the moment you step out of the timeline. You step out of your own story. You put down your own tools, your own ambitions, your own pains, and you join the silence of the ages. Look down at your own body now, lying in your bed. You are warm. You are clean. You have no fleas. You have no iron corset. You have no enemies plotting against you. You have a soft mattress. You have walls that keep out the wind. You have a heart that beats steady and slow. Doop, doop, doop. You are the lucky heir of history. All those people, the peasants, the queens, the artists, they struggled through the mud and the snow and the blood so that you could be here, so that humanity could survive to build a world with central heating and soft pillows. They did the hard work. They carried the heavy load. Now, it is your turn to accept the gift of comfort, the gift of safety, the gift of oblivion. Imagine the dust of history settling over you. Not dirty dust, but a magical golden dust, like the gold on the bus. It settles on your eyelids, making them heavy. It settles on your limbs, making them numb. It fills the room, dampening the sound. The world outside your window is fading away. The 21st century is dissolving. There is no time anymore. There is no year. There is only the dark, warm ocean of the subconscious. You are drifting on it, a small boat on a vast black sea. The water is made of silence. The sky is made of sleep. Think of the medieval peasant sleeping in the earth. He is at peace. Think of Catherine sleeping in the marble. She is at peace. Think of the Red Queen sleeping in the stone. She is at peace. Think of Frida sleeping in the ash. She is at peace. And now, you join them, not in death, but in the deep, restorative shadow of sleep. Let the darkness enter your mind. It is not a scary darkness. It is the darkness of the womb, the darkness of the seed underground. It is the place where life recharges. Let go of the light. Let go of the form. Let go of the name. You are just a breathing consciousness floating in the void, drifting deeper and deeper and deeper into the museum of scars, where every wound is healed, where every noise is silenced, where every story ends. The lights in the museum are turning off now, on by on. Click, the medieval room goes dark. Click, the Russian room goes dark. Click, the Maya room goes dark. Click, the Mexican room goes dark. Click, your room goes dark. There is nothing left to see. There is nothing left to feel. Only the gentle, rhythmic tide of your own breath, in and out, in and out, like the waves on the shore of eternity, washing away the footprints of the day, washing away the dust of history, leaving the sand smooth and clean. You are safe. You are loved by the earth that holds you. You are protected by the roof above you. You are watched over by the silent guardians of the past. They are whispering to you now. Can you hear them? Thousands of voices, whispering in unison. Rest, rest. We did the work. You can rest. We fought the wars. You can rest. We endured the pain. You can rest. Listen to them. Believe them. The struggle is over. The night has won, and the night is kind. Sink into the mattress. Let it absorb you. Let your boundaries dissolve. You are no longer a person. You are mist. You are shadow. You are sleep. Deep, ancient, heavy sleep. The kind of sleep that heals bones. The kind of sleep that resets the soul. Take it. It is yours. We have arrived at the edge of the world. Behind us lies the Museum of History. Its doors locked, its exhibits fading into the grey mist of memory. The peasant has dissolved into the earth. The empress has dissolved into the marble. The queen has dissolved into the dust. The painter has dissolved into the ash. They are gone, and now there is only you. You are the last consciousness left awake in the universe, but not for long. We are going to construct a fortress of sleep around you. We are going to build it brick by brick, breath by breath, silence by silence. We are going to deconstruct your body, your mind, and your time until there is nothing left but the pure, heavy, dark gravity of rest. This is the longest goodbye. This is the slowest descent. We are not just going to sleep. We are going to travel to the very bottom of the ocean of existence. The journey is long. The water is deep. The current is strong. Do not resist. You are heavy. You are made of lead. You are made of stone. You are made of history. Let us begin the great shutdown. Focus on the feet, the roots of the earth. Bring your attention to your feet. Think of the medieval peasant walking through the freezing mud. Think of how tired his feet were. Cracked, bleeding, cold. Now, feel your own feet. They are not in the mud. They are clean, they are dry, but they are tired. They have carried you through your own history today. Imagine that your feet are turning into stone, heavy, warm limestone. Like the pyramids of Palenque, the toes are fusing together. The arch is collapsing into the mattress. The heel is sinking. You cannot move them. They are too heavy. They belong to the bed now. Visualize roots growing out of your soul. Not the roots of the jungle, thick and strangling, but roots of light. They grow down through the mattress, down through the floorboards, down through the foundations of your house, down into the cool, dark soil beneath. They anchor you. You are a tree that has survived the storm. The wind has stopped. The branches are still. The sap is slowing down. Your feet are asleep. They have left the building. Focus on the legs. The memory of pain. Move your awareness up to your legs. Think of Frida's shattered leg, the pain, the surgeries, the iron brace. Think of the exhaustion of standing for hours. Now, feel your own legs. There is no iron here. There is no fracture. There is only softness. The large muscles of your thighs, the quadriceps, the hamstrings are uncoiling. Imagine them as tightly wound ropes. Now, imagine a hand gently untying the knots, on by on, loosening, lengthening, releasing. The tension flows out of your legs like water. It flows out of your knees, down your shins, out of your ankles, and into the earth. Your legs are becoming hollow. Empty vessels, fill them with lead. Liquid, warm lead. Pour it into your hips. Feel it slide down to your toes. So heavy, so incredibly heavy. If you tried to lift your leg now, you couldn't. It would weigh 1,000 pounds. And you don't want to lift it. You surrender the control of your legs. They are no longer yours. They are just driftwood floating in the dark water. Focus on the torso, the chamber of breath. Move up to your hips, your stomach, your chest. Think of the Red Queen, the ritual sacrifice, the obsidian blade. Think of the tightness of the corset Frida wore, the breathless constriction. Now, feel your own torso. There is no corset, there is no blade. There is only the gentle rise and fall of the diaphragm. Rise and fall. Expand and contract. This is the engine of your life. But tonight, we are turning the engine down. We are shifting gears to idle. Visualize your internal organs. Your stomach, which digests the world, tell it to stop. Your liver, your kidneys, your spleen, tell them to rest. Imagine a wave of warm, golden oil flowing through your abdomen, coating every organ, soothing every nerve, quieting every pulse. The digestion of the day is done. The processing of emotions is done. Your chest is heavy. Imagine a large, smooth stone from the riverbed of the Thames. A stone that has been polished by water for 1,000 years. Place that stone on your chest. Feel the weight of it. It presses you down into the mattress. It protects your heart. Your heart is beating. Doop, doop, doop. But it is slowing down. It is no longer the frantic drum of the battlefield. It is the slow, steady drum of a sleeping whale in the deep ocean. Boom, pause. Boom, pause. There is so much space between the beats. Rest in that space. The silence between the heartbeats is where the magic happens. Sink into that silence. Focus on the hands. The tools of history. Move your attention to your hands. Think of the peasant gripping the hoe, the blistered skin, the claw-like grip. Think of Catherine gripping the pen, writing laws, signing executions. Think of the Red Queen gripping the jade mask. Think of Frida gripping the paintbrush. Hands are for doing. Hands are for holding on. But tonight, we let go. Uncurl your fingers. Let them open. Imagine you are holding a handful of sand. The sand represents your control, your need to fix things, your need to be in charge. Open your hand. Let the sand slip through your fingers. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Feel the grains falling away. You are holding nothing. Your palms are open to the ceiling, receiving the darkness. Your fingers are limp, like the leaves of a plant at night. Your arms are heavy, sinking into the bed. They are not arms anymore. They are wings, folded, rested. You have flown far today. You have crossed centuries. But now the wings are heavy. They are made of stone. They sink down, down, down. Focus on the neck and face, the mask of identity. Move up to your neck, your jaw, your face. Think of the tension in Catherine's jaw as she faced the rebels. Think of the grimace on the peasant's face as he chewed the hard bread. Think of the jade mask covering the skull of the Red Queen. You are wearing a mask too. The mask of you. The mask you wear for your family, for your job, for the world. It is heavy. It is made of jade and gold and worry. Tonight, we take it off. Visualize unbuckling the mask at the back of your head. Click. It falls away. Your face underneath is smooth, blank, ancient. Unclench your jaw. Let there be a gap between your teeth. Relax your tongue. Let it fall away from the roof of your mouth. Relax the tiny muscles around your eyes, the muscles that squint, the muscles that worry. Smooth them out. Imagine a cool, wet paintbrush painting your forehead, painting it with the color of the night sky. Indigo, black, void. Your eyelids are heavy curtains, velvet curtains in a Victorian parlour. Draw them shut, swish, block out the light, lock out the room. Behind your eyes, there is only the vast, empty theatre of sleep. The show is over. The audience has gone home. The stage is dark. Focus on the mind. The great library. Now we enter the most dangerous room. The mind. Think of Catherine's library. Thousands of books. Thousands of words. Think of Frida's diary, full of pain and passion. Your mind is a library too, full of the day's conversations, the news, the plans for tomorrow. We are going to turn off the lights in the library, row by row, shelf by shelf. Imagine a long hallway of bookshelves in your brain. At the far end, a man with a lantern is walking away. He is the keeper of thoughts, and he is leaving. Watch him go. He turns a corner. The light fades. One section goes dark. The section of work is dark. The section of money is dark. The section of regret is dark. The section of planning is dark. There are no more words. If a thought comes, imagine it is a bat in the Maya cave. Don't fight it. Just watch it fly past. Flap, flap. Let it fly into the darkness. Do not follow it. Stay on the ground. Stay in the silence. Your brain is a grey stone. Cool. Still. Silent. It is no longer a machine. It is a fossil, buried deep in the earth, safe from the wind, safe from the noise, the cosmic zoom. The earth asleep. Now that your body is a statue of stone, let your consciousness expand. Float up, through the ceiling, through the roof, up into the night sky, higher than we have ever been. Look down at the earth. See the planet spinning slowly in the black void. It is a blue and white marble. Look at the dark side of the earth, the side where it is night. You are there. Millions of people are sleeping with you. You are part of a vast, breathing organism. The cities are dimming. The lights are going out. London is sleeping. The Thames is a silver thread. Street Petersburg is sleeping. The Neva is a sheet of ice. The jungle is sleeping. The temples are shadows. Mexico City is sleeping. The volcanoes are silent. The whole world is inhaling and exhaling. Join that rhythm. You are not separate from the planet. You are the planet. You are the rock. You are the ocean. You are the night. Feel the rotation of the earth. A slow, steady spin, round and round. It rocks you like a cradle in the stars. There is nowhere to fall. Gravity holds you. The universe holds you. You are microscopic. You are insignificant. And that is the greatest freedom of all. You don't have to run the world. The world runs itself. Let go of the steering wheel. Let the planet drive. The descent, the 10 steps to oblivion. Now, we are going to descend the final staircase, the staircase of history. There are 10 steps. Each step takes you deeper into the void. Each step moves you further away from the waking world. I will count them down. With each number, you will double your relaxation. With each number, you will sink deeper into the mattress. Ready? Step down. The year 1325 fades away. The mud dries up. The cold wind stops. The peasant lies down in the green grass. He closes his eyes. You close your eyes. The struggle for survival is over. You are safe. Deeper. Step down. The year 1762 fades away. The snow melts. The palaces dissolve into mist. The empress lays down her crown. It rolls away into the darkness. The weight is gone from your head. You are not a ruler. You are a sleeper. Deeper. Step down. The year 600 fades away. The jungle goes quiet. The monkey stops screaming. The Red Queen takes off her jade mask. She reveals the nothingness beneath. You take off your mask. You are face to face with the silence. Deeper. Chi. Step down. The year 1925 fades away. The bus stops. The metal heals. The pain vanishes. The gold dust floats up into the sky, becoming stars. Frida lays down her brush. The canvas is blank. The white space of peace. Your mind is a blank canvas. Deeper. Liu. Step down. The 20th century fades. The noise of the traffic dies. The lights of the skyscrapers go out. The concrete turns to sand. The glass turns to water. The modern world evaporates. There is no internet, no phone, no alarm clock, only the now. Deeper. Wu. Step down. Halfway to the bottom, you are entering the zone of no return. The twilight zone between wakefulness and sleep. Your body is numb. You cannot feel your hands. You cannot feel your feet. You are just a point of awareness floating in space, a tiny spark in the great dark. Deeper. Step down. The spark is fading. The light is getting dimmer. The thoughts are becoming dreams. Nonsense images floating by, a geometric shape, a color, a sound. Don't try to understand them. Just let them flow. The logic center of your brain is shutting down. Deeper. San. Step down. You are breathing underwater now, but you don't need air. You breathe silence. Inhale the black water. Exhale the bubbles of thought. Watch them rise to the surface and pop. Pop. Gone. Deeper. Step down. You are almost there. The bottom of the ocean. The sand is soft and white. It is the sand of eternity. Lie down on it. It molds to your shape. It holds you perfectly. There is no pain here, no memory, no history, just the pressure of the deep, holding you together. Deeper. Yi. Step down. You have arrived. 0 point. Total stillness. Total silence. Total peace. The final mantra. The locking of the door. You are now in the sanctuary. I am going to lock the door behind us. You are safe inside. Nothing can enter. No noise. No light. No worry. I will whisper the final words. Let them be the last thing you hear before you drift away completely. You are dust, and to dust you have returned. But it is stardust. It is golden dust. It is the dust of kings and queens and stars. You are part of the great cycle. The circle is closed. The story is finished. The book is closed. The candle is blown out. Puff. Darkness. Feel the heavy, warm blanket of the night tucking you in. It covers your feet, your legs, your chest, your shoulders. It covers your mind. You are sinking, sinking, sinking. The river of time flows on without you. You are the stone at the bottom of the river, immovable, peaceful, asleep. Your breath is the tide. In, out, slow, so slow, almost stopping. Just a ripple. The peasant sleeps. The empress sleeps. The queen sleeps. The artist sleeps. The world sleeps. And now you sleep. There is nothing more to say. There is nothing more to do. The silence is your friend. The dark is your mother. Go to her. Drift, float, sink, sleep, deep sleep, dreamless sleep, healing sleep, eternal sleep. Good night, good night, good night.